Perfumes are easy to buy, much harder to use up. In Last Drops, I share the scent reviews about the fragrances that I truly used up, with all the hindsight and nuance that comes with owning something for a while. We'll talk about things that disappointed me, that seduced me, things that I have replaced, things that I think are a waste of space on the shelves, the new releases that are not so new if you smell them carefully and think of other things that are already on the market and potentially better. I'm very excited for this new installment of Last Drops. I hope you join me in this ritual of enjoying beauty without being drowned by it. Well, let's see if mindfulness is gonna win over addiction. I am gonna show you the unprecedented number of empty bottles. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full-size empty bottles of perfume. Nobody can say that I'm just a hoarder. I actually use what I buy. So let's start from the morning phase. And for me, it's always morning and workouts. I do wear perfume when I work out. I almost overspray my workout clothing because it helps to protect me against the elements that I face in the open gym. That said, for that, I strategically choose perfumes that I think do not go bitter or sour or don't collapse if they come into interaction with my sweat, and things that are not going to be so strong and so vividly projecting that will disturb people around me. So one of my long-term favorites for the morning, kind of before I even wake up and had my first cup of coffee or when I work out, is Pretty Rare release by Salvador Dali. This is Sun and Sea and Cadaques. Masculine leaning citrusy orange fragrance. I did not know it was marketed toward men, and the olfactory profile wore beautifully on my skin. It's not the type of citruses that are just like drilling your nose, those lemons that just can go through rust and stainless steel. This is a fun, cheerful, and easy to wear fragrance. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was an underrated gem in overall fragrance market. However, I used up 100 ml. All right, I feel like I'm done. I can't move on. And I got a few other ones that I really enjoy that have this kind of fresh and fun at the same time characteristics that I'm now kind of replacing it with. This is by Lanvin. A number of you have already told me that you forgot it existed. It's an oldie. It has an incredible, somewhat lactonic, fresh, zesty, abstract, floral accord. I love it. It's one of the best fresh ozonic perfumes on the market, and it costs, I don't know, $30, $20, depending where you find it. And a much, much more expensive option that I already have, therefore I'm trying to use up, is Kedu by Memo. This is a much more elegant operation going on, and yet not grabby enough for me to be something that I would put at the top 5 or top 3 of fresh, breathing florals. Not really. Therefore, a very expensive gym fragrance. You gotta agree, and that's a bit of an overkill. I wouldn't recommend anybody else to do it, but I already have it. It's been collecting dust on my shelf for a long time, and I enjoy wearing it. It's just I would never probably repurchase it again, but that's gonna be a valuable and overpriced replacement to my morning and gym routine, and this definitely highly recommend. For the price that they're selling it, if you're looking for the ozonic fresh but not overly synthetic and not overly drilling in your nose fragrance, this is beautiful and it lasts a fairly long time. So it's really good for runs. Comptoir Pacifique. Affordable, especially in the gray market or secondhand. Fun, edible gourmands, but they do have a few fresher type of fragrances, and this was quite unique. This one is called Eau de Lagons. I bought it for like $20, and It is truly bizarre. The best way I can describe this concoction of piercingly salty, swampy accord plus their vanilla gourmand base is if you took a massive kind of vanilla whipped cream and strawberries cake, you know, the fluffy one, the yummy one with a lot of whipped cream, and you drowned it in the swamp. Fragrances like that are very popular now, so if you can find all the Lagons and you're exploring seaweed, swampy, seafood, mineral compositions, this could be fun, long-lasting, diffusive, and not expensive option. I used up probably 15 ml myself, and then it was a bit too bright for me, and this kind of salty, swampy sweetness was confusing. To give you a comparison, a much sweeter and more patchouli heavy, dumpier, beautiful green rot perfume would be Eden by Cacharel. So for people who enjoy that kind of old school creativity in olfaction, this is way more young and fun, and I imagine actually younger demographic might enjoy Comptoir Pacifique more than people who've been there, done that. That said, the rest of it I just used up as kind of room spray. If I ever want to feel swampy but in a very high fashion way, there's no question. Acqua di Sale or Acqua di Sale by Profumum Roma. This is an Italian, very expensive niche brand, and their perfumes are so heavy on the oils and aromatic ingredients, I don't know if you can see it here, that the liquid almost curls against any surface. Like it looks oily, it feels very rich, and all of them, they smell incredibly nuanced, rich, dense. Acqua di Sale is seaweed, salt, fresh, maybe pine, maybe eucalyptus, I would say. Salt and seaweed. This is the most beautiful, the most wearable, perfume-wise, seaweed in niche perfumery. Yes, I said it. Acqua di Sale. I have 15 travel that I got from tour in Italy, and I am very slowly making my way through it. Talking of Italy, Italian niche brand Il Profumo with the fragrance Imprinting. I got 2 samples from them a while ago, and this is the typical cologne formula that I do not enjoy, even though it's super classic. These kind of sparkly, a little bit like scratchy citruses that are all mixed together. Not my favorite cup of tea. Italian cologne is olfactory genre. This super citrusy thing, how do they end up in my collection? Because I never, ever want them. I never ask for them. I never buy them. But it seems like they just multiply by them. They clone themselves. So Imprinting by Il Profumo, decent classical cologne. Think Etat Libre d'Orange. They have a cologne, which is run-of-the-mill, good example of what Italian cologne smells like. Nearly every niche or historic perfume brand has one. A lot of citruses, a little bit of this sense of aromatic herbs, somewhat reminiscent of a shaving cream, but not really, not spicy enough for that. A lot of lemons. When it comes to truly beautiful citrus, the queen of citruses in the niche perfumery, this is Bigarade Concentrate by Frederic Malle. This is it. Nothing comes even close to it. I'm not sure if anything ever will, unless Frederic Malle discontinues Bigarade Concentrate. But I've got better things to do than buying full-size Imprinting by Profumo. That said, it was okay. It was all right. Something that started a desperate search that I hope you can help me with. This is Eau de Gingembre by 100 Bon. 100 Bon. It's a very affordable French fragrance brand. Think Pacifica or any kind of Target, Walmart brands. Fragrances that cost $10-15, things like that. They have different 2-3 note concoctions. I bought a few. only the ginger so far I managed to enjoy, and not even because these are particularly good or interesting. I do not recommend this brand, unfortunately. Out of 5 or 6 that I got, not a single one had characteristics of an actual fragrance. They were all aromatizers, room sprays. Nothing there was really catching my attention, and they had zero longevity. Even I, who loves perfumes that whisper in your ear and sit close to the skin, I still expect when I do go for that whiff to feel something. This is gone in 10 minutes. But ginger. I got obsessed with ginger. I want to find a truly beautiful, nuanced, rich perfume. I want to find the epitome of a ginger fragrance, something so spicy and fresh and nuanced that the search will be done. If you know of any truly beautiful ginger scents, let me know, just to get me started somewhere. I even got perfume ingredients. Ginger from Madagascar, it's a solution, just to have a reference of what natural components smell like. It smells much more spicy than the other perfume ingredient. These actually are used to make perfumes. This is a CO2 extract of ginger, which made a lot of waves back in the day when they first introduced this technology of extracting ginger, because it had very new, quite different type of olfactory profile that was very promising for creating a new generation of perfumes that had a twist of ginger with other components. So I have these as a reference, and if things get too desperate, I'll just start using them on myself. That said, I do hope with these references in mind that maybe with your help, I'll be able to find some truly spectacular ginger perfume. I have Cologne by Prada, Infusion de Prada, a travel size of their ginger. It's all right. It's a little better than this, but it's way more expensive than 100 Bon. So no, I don't think so. It's not deep enough. Ginger by Prada is not quite there for me yet, but it's okay. It's all right. It's a decent thing to wear just to get a hit of ginger if you really need to. The second 100 Bon that I barely managed to use up was Le Du Parc. I don't know what this is supposed to smell like. What part of enjoyable universe this represents? Because this guy, Le Du Parc, stinks. It's just... And all the way through, when I tried it on the pillow, tried it in the kitchen, tried this and that, it just stinks. It's like old school hairspray. It just smells like something chemical and toxic. Like when I smell it, I feel, should I open windows? Should I get out of the space? Am I being poisoned? L'Eau du Parc will remain forever a mystery for me. I will never ever go back to this fragrance and possibly to this brand. This is Just Box Micro Love. Just like with other fragrances from Just Box, I tried 2, but randomly at different times, so I don't have a good olfactory memory of them. I can't even say what that was. It was so passing. Like it would spray as like, and you go. I can't describe it. I know it's called Micro Love. It was fresh something. Yeah, Just Box so far hasn't impressed me with anything. Let me know if you know of any scents that you think truly stand out by either characteristic. It could be longevity, it could be dynamism, how fragrance opens up, maybe the concept. Tell me, is there anything worth exploring in that brand? Because so far, they're on the bottom shelf for me. I'm not looking for anything from them. Not really following their new releases. Just Box just hasn't quite landed for me as a perfume house. And this is very sad. Good Chemistry is either going out of business or got acquired. I don't know what's going on with them. But they stopped releasing new perfume collections. They used to be like 100 bond, a very affordable perfume company, and they had so many fun different lines, some devoted to flowers, and this was an abstract line with fun conceptual fragrances. This is a firecracker, and it had this mysterious sweet, fresh, bitter juxtaposition of notes. At some point, firecracker smelled to me almost something sour, but then it's not berries, it's not patchouli per se. And then the other time I tried it, and it smelled to be like marshmallows. It's fun. I really miss when Good Chemistry was making all of these fun collections. Alas, no more. So I used it up, and we're done. We're done. This is a hotly debated potential full bottle purchase. It is the best green mango fragrance I've found. And I've searched for bitter, sour, more spicier mango, less of a syrupy mango. Very hard to find, actually, in perfume world. And I found it here. This is Mantal Soleil de Capri. Yes, Soleil de Capri by Mantal, which is old, not hot, sexy, or trendy. It's not too expensive either. It's just so bizarre that I've had 2 decants of Soleil de Capri, and this is my third 8 ml decant that I fully used up. And it's the best morning fresh tropical fruit fragrance that doesn't go syrupy sweet or pineapple coconut type of stuff. It remains twisted green, very elevating, very flowy. I love Soleil de Capri. I know that a lot of people go for Hermès Jardin, their gardens collection, because it also plays on these exotic gardens, including, I think the first one was devoted to green mango, if I'm not mistaken, by Jean-Claude Elena. But none of the gardens to me gives me green mango. Go figure. I don't even enjoy them that much, to be honest. You're supposed to love Gardens by Hermès because it's so historical, it's so classic, it's such a great example of creative perfumery by designer brand, Gardens just haven't worked for me, not even once. But Soleil de Capri by Mantal, it's my guilty pleasure. I feel I should somehow upgrade my game. But I haven't found anything that gives me so much joy. I even had Morning Chess by Wilhelm Perfumery, the yellow boxes. They do also mention some exotic fruit opening. It's cool. But I just enjoy this better. So I am potentially gonna buy a full-size bottle. I just gave myself a promise, since I bought a lot of fragrances recently, to finish up another full-size bottle, something floral or something tropically fruity, and then I can make a final decision. Soleil de Capri is the best green mango on the market. These are all of the freshies type of scents that I've been using up. If you're buying fresh or fresh floral perfumes, do not put them on the back shelf. Either regift them, resell them, or use them up. These do not stay long on the shelves just due to the chemical compositions of them. They're mostly composed of topical notes, and those have the shortest shelf life. They do enter chemical reactions and, so to speak, break down. So if a fresher citrusy fragrance starts losing its top notes, it essentially loses its full character. It's no longer recognizable. So I am really leaning in on my fresh fragrances, especially those that I bought a long time ago, and trying to make a decision. Am I wearing this? Am I regifting this? Am I selling this? Highly recommend you do a revision of what you have on your shelves and make wise decisions, because it's very disappointing to get a fragrance like I showed you, Kedu by Memo, $200, $300 a bottle, and to discover that it's so spoiled that it would be kind of a scam to try to sell it, which did happen to me more than once when people sold me a perfume that was no longer viable. But now, florals. I love them, and I especially love them on men. Not many people know, but florals create incredibly sophisticated compositions when you layer them with your favorite kind of like base heavy fragrance. Think leather, guaiac wood, amber wood, all of those kind of like masculine men, wooden box, cigar, new car smell, all of that stuff. You add something citrusy or floral on top of it, and it just blossoms. It becomes the most imaginative and very seductive composition. So this is not just for the girls, that's for everyone. I have been trying to figure out what to replace Lancome Poeme with. As many of you know, Lancome Poeme is one of the iconic, very diva. Think Mariah Carey in her prime. It's a very diva, honeyed, sweet, multifaceted yellow-white floral. It's just very much like Roja Dove, Kilian style of blending. I've had a bottle. I loved it. I used it, but it has such strong character, just like Baccarat Rouge. Once you know what Poeme smells like, it's the fragrance first and you second. It became hard for me to enjoy it, and when it got discontinued, I decided to take the news head on and find the best replacement. So far, the closest that I got to it is Carner Barcelona Latin Lover. I had 3 decants and samples of it. Initially, it felt like a rather disappointing, just semi-sweet jasmine, light flowers, blah, 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 blah. Gardenia, jasmine, osmanthus, a little bit of everything, whatever. But I forgot about this sample for 2 years. The liquid became super dense orange yellow, and maybe it is not as flowing light anymore, but the density of the middle and the base notes is such that it really delivers to me what Poeme Lancome used to without overwhelming me with its very characteristic profile. I finished up a sample. Carner Barcelona is a wonderful Spanish niche brand. As far as I know, it's still independently owned, so it's money well spent. You're actually giving it to people who have skin in the game. And here and there, people who don't know better sell Carner Barcelona for very affordable price. So Latin Lover may show up one day in a haul. I'm kind of seeing what I can get and for how much. Osmanthus, Absolute this month by Perry Monte Carlo. A very underrated niche brand because they make high quality, super useful for training your nose references to soliflores such as devoted to Osmanthus flower, which is used nearly in all florals, just like rose or jasmine. It reminds people of tea. It reminds people of peach. Like if there's a peachy fragrance, or the fragrance that's devoted to peach, you bet it Osmanthus is the one that's pulling kind of the heavy load in that. And so Perry Monte Carlo is a cool brand, kind of like Molinar, but I would say kind of level up a little bit, even better. And I did use up 5 ml, and I did buy myself a full-size bottle. So it was good enough that I decided I need a reference. I need a reference to really, really reliable, rich Osmanthus olfactory profile so I can go back to it and compare. But since then, I kind of started regretting it. Not because there's anything wrong. The packaging is great. The price was right. The Osmanthus is very believable here. It's boring to me. I tend to combine it with something else in order to bring up more of a nuanced, more like a multifaceted story out of this fragrance. Otherwise, I could have probably done without. Next, very rich White Floral is a niche brand. Sense of wood, orange in chestnut. You get what you asked for. You can feel that they were serious about the composition. It reminds me of some Kilian bases. It's prickly, fruity, zesty base. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of Kilian fragrances have that. It's kind of fruity, sour, sweet, and zesty. With orange here is more comes as orange oil and orange peel rather than orange. I mostly gave it away. The one that comes close but much more diffusive and spicy is Orange Moresque by Chapar, and I already have a full-size bottle of that. So this that's a miss for me. And I'm confused about the brand identity a little bit and what their strategy is, what they're actually doing. I used up 8 ml of Atelier Bloem Extraordinary Tulip, and I do own a full-size bottle. This is the best tulip fragrance on the market, period, stop, don't be silly. Don't argue, Byredo La Tulipe has nothing to do, it doesn't even come close, all right? It is the most believable, beautiful, amazing, unique tulip fragrance. If you like unusual florals, this is it. And you know where you can get it. The link will be down below. Another unusual floral. This time we are dealing with Mimosa. And I used up Bond number 9 Highline. Good, reliable, green, yellow, flowy floral plus Mimosa. I enjoyed it. If you can find it secondhand or discounted, it's decent. But you know what I'm gonna say? I already found the best mimosa on the market, and it is discontinued but still available from my shelf. Dolce & Gabbana boutique line, and this one is called Velvet Mimosa Bloom. Gorgeous. This is the most believable and strong-willed mimosa scent I've ever had. A lot of mimosa scent, in order to make them user-friendly, fragrance houses tame them into submission by making them makeup-y, powdery, and just kind of blah. Like they're pleasant with mimosa somewhere as an echo on top. This is zesty, powder, it's almost like you're chewing on it. It has so much character, and I love it for it. It has none of the concessions to make it rosy, powdery makeup bag lipstick smelling like. It is true mimosa branches. It is so beautiful. Yeah, so Bond number 9 Highline just doesn't even come close to Velvet Mimosa Bloom by Dolce & Gabbana. Unfortunately discontinued. I'm trying to find a tuberose that I'll be happy with, and one of the things that I used up was Narcotic Venus Nasomato. It is essentially their response to Fleur Narcotique by Ex Nihilo, or maybe Ex Nihilo is response to Narcotic Venus Nasomato. It's not bad. It's not bad, but no. There's something about Nasomato scents that to me always smells undone, and not in a good way. You threw chunky paint on the canvas, but you didn't bother to actually refine what you're trying to make in terms of shapes. So there is still some drip, some this and that, and then you say, oh yeah, it's not like I can't use oils to paint something. I just intentionally left this undone. A lot of people do enjoy Nasomato for this rough, uncut quality. I am not a supporter. Let's just say that. I did have Baronde, much more refined fragrance. It's more of a port red wine type of situation. Unfortunately, it also to me smells as old pee, like really old mix of urine, sweat, and you sweating alcohol. That's what sometimes homeless people smell like. So Baronde Nasomato, 100% gives me those flashbacks. I used to take a train, and every time I get off train station, there was a bit of a situation of a lot of homeless people living there. You would be greeted by the smell meters away, like quite some distance away. So not the happiest flashbacks. So roundup, not gonna work for me. Absinthe, I do own a bottle of absinthe. It's not quite absinthe. The best absinthe I've ever tried, surprise, surprise, is Haze by Acqua. And if you want to learn more about that, I'll send you to the review that I made about the brand. So Nasomatto, generally, Narcotic Venus is all right, but I'm not going to buy it. And I can't quite think of anything else by Nasomatto that is worth trying. Maybe you let me know if you have any favorites. And another tuberosy white floral is Marfa by Memo. This still has a devoted fan base. And I thought, since that's the case, I should give it another go. So I got a sample, I used it up, and I can't even remember anything. It's it's okay. Maybe we're just so spoiled with so many new releases that it's hard to enjoy a well-blended tuberosy white floral. That might be the case. It just didn't really deliver anything extra for me. One full-size bottle is Lilac. This is a very affordable lilac by this famous Kölnisch Wasser. Kölnisch Wasser. It's a German brand that makes a $10 bucket classic cologne, that if you want to know what classic cologne, Italian cologne smells like, you can spend $5, get one of their classic, the blue bottle ones, and you will know forever. You'll have a reference. They release a lot of waters, simple 3-note concoctions that every once in a while you find something cool. So I decided to give their lilac a chance. Synthetic rosy lilac makeup bag lipsticky. Very boring. I used it up as just perfuming my cat's litter box and whatnot. It's not nothing to write home about. This I would call a waste of space in the product line. I don't understand why things like that get manufactured. I don't understand why they get pushed into the market. It's already garbage at the point of kind of leaving the production line. I do not understand the point of this. However, a very affordable and delightful, also kind of rosy, well-rounded lilac, I already have it, and that's what I would recommend instead, is Pacifica French Lilac. Mwah! Pretty, beautiful, affordable. We're closing the door with lilacs at this point. You gotta elevate the game if you want to surprise me with a lilac scent. Next, full-size bottle empty that I used up all by myself is Serge Lutens Féminité de Bois. I think it's my second bottle. Plum wine spilled on warm wood cup, or a piece of wood. It is user-friendly. It's the most user-friendly Serge Lutens, one of the most user-friendly ones I've ever encountered. It's essentially plum wine with a bit of a dry, woody aspect. It's a beautiful entrance to Serge Lutens if you haven't tried anything very complex and you're not super seduced by ideas of bleeding teeth, desperate nuns, and other things, or male prostitutes and whatnot. They get very conceptual, but most of their fragrances are quite wearable, though sometimes the concepts are cool, controversial, and have their own lore, but the juice doesn't necessarily deliver, in my not so humble opinion. But Féminité de Bois, to me, is a darling. It's a sweetheart. If you like plum wine, this is it. I already got myself a replacement, and I will keep getting replacements until I die. It's just such a... And I also got, you see, it's like a different packaging. Oh, Serge Lutens in their packaging. I have a whole review about that. But it's fun every once in a while to find their more rare limited releases. So this is one of those. So already replaced that. A super budget-friendly brand, Tesori d'Oriente Byzantium. I think this is mostly available in Europe. Again, the same situation as 100 Bon, Pacifica. The Byzantium is supposed to be the smell of sweet vanilla, myrrh, labdanum, the feeling of a lot of melting candles. The candle wax itself, the old school one. It's cute. I think I've tried like a dozen of them, maybe 6, 7. I want to champion affordable perfumery, but it can't be smelling like something that you put in a cleaning product. Good chemistry had it for a while. Bracard, that's available in Europe, owns it. They literally own the niche of affordable, experimental, kind of fast fashion, if you think. Like, we take the hottest trends, we convert them into a very, modestly priced, yet decent to wear, fun product lines, and we release them fast. It seems that if Zara has figured it out in fashion, there must be at least one player on the perfume market that should be able to figure it out. I guess Zara again. Did you notice that Zara fragrances are surprisingly cool? Good quality, and they catch a lot of trends fairly quickly. So I guess maybe Zara again. That's where we'll end up looking for trendy, affordable, cheap fragrances. If we don't want to or can't afford, the OG from Francis Kurkdjian or Byredo or this or that or Roja Dav, you name it. So fun, but not very good blending. Too much of a cleaning product type of a situation. So we're gonna move on. A full-size bottle that I used up 20 ml. I used on myself. And the rest of it, I can just spray it around. I use it as a home fragrance. This used to be a boutique, quote unquote, boutique line by Perry Ellis. Perry Ellis hasn't been in the realm of high fashion for such a long time that it's kind of cringy to call this boutique designer brand, because a lot of their fragrances cost $15, $20. But they did try. They had a whole limited edition elevated perfumery line release. That's one of the bottles. The fragrance is called Ouz Safran Rose Absolu. I like it. And you know what? It's a very close clone of the OG of niche fragrance community, Micallef Royal Rose Oud. They are if they're not siblings, they're definitely close cousins. Essentially, I don't think it makes sense to talk about this because this is the original concept. This is what I would actually recommend you get if you want to experience this type of blending. To my knowledge, Micallef was the first brand in the wide scope of niche perfumery that cracked the formula of wearable daytime rose oud, because rose oud is a classical masculine targeted toward men composition that comes from Middle East. But there you'll get oud, all right? It will blow your bra off when the Middle Eastern man generously puts rose oud oil on himself. So to make it a gentle, easily scared European nose friendly, many tried and failed. Micallef, to my knowledge, was the first one who made it popular to rework these classical compositions to such a degree that you almost don't recognize it, but you do. It's a very contemporary translation of an ancient beloved genre into something that a teenager can wear to school. So Royal Rose Oud by Micallef is the most wearable, I dare say fresh rose with something oudy on the background. The oud here just gives it a little bit of more of a backbone, but it's not medicinal, it's not fecal, it's like not animalistic, nothing, not of another kind. This is the most wearable daytime rose oud. Since then, everyone and their mother tried to clone this formula, probably successfully. This is one of the examples. But since I have the original, there's no need for me to hunt down a questionably packaged. This looks very unrefined boutique line by the brand that hasn't really preserved its legacy very well. 5 ml and 8 ml. Sweeter, fruitier florals. It's that kind of category when you can't really pull them apart. Fairly new release by Memo Madurai. I really wanted to love new releases by Memo because their packaging is glorious, but I can't find a single fragrance that would be worth the price tag. Madurai was no exception. It kind of reminded me of a less seductive version of Angel's Share by Kilian. It's this annoyingly there for you base with sweet floral something. There's nothing awful about Madurai. It's just so forgettable and been there, done that I can't emote about it in any shape or form. So we're done. We're not going to go back to it. And I'm kind of fed up enough that I think I'm putting Memo on the back burner. It's been way too many not so good experiences so far. Even though their Quartier Latin is in my top 20 of all time fragrances, okay? So Memo has some incredible releases. Just recently, there was nothing by them that would justify their positioning on the market. And something that to me is kind of similar to Madurai, but something that I already have, is Etat Libre d'Orange. This is Dangerous Complicity by Etat Libre d'Orange. The thing is that I have so many perfumes. I do use this system to enjoy what I have and to remind myself of the gems that I already have on my shelves. So I tried it a few weeks ago. I realized that I think the top notes are about to go off, but it's not tragic. So I decanted myself 5 ml and I've been wearing it ever since. It's a delightful, kissable, charming nude perfume with light something floral and white rum. There is this kind of slightly coconutty, boozy flavor that it's not gourmand and it's not sweet. It's only a hint of rum. And if this doesn't seem enough for me for the day, I put on any kind of tobacco heavy scent. It's just tobacco really makes this even more delicious, even more seductive. But this is not a gourmand. This is a nude. It's just half this kind of flirty rum, half unidentifiable light floral. I really enjoy it. If you're looking for a ethereal, kissable, charming rum fragrance, Dangerous Complicity might be just that. Talking of a fruity something but not edible, one disappointment, which is, this is rare, but I'm gonna say it, Jil Sander disappointed me this time. This is Eve by Jil Sander. Usually, I always send you guys anything you can find by Jil Sander from their original line, get it. High quality, interesting design, olfaction-wise, very affordable, especially their Touch of Leather, Touch of Violet, Touch of Mandarin collection. But they do have a fair share of duds. I already know what not to buy by them. Sunshine or Sunlight? Yeah. Sport? And Eve, apparently, is just also quite disappointing. It's just such a generic, cheap, sweet, fruity floral. A shampoo, like herbal essences, or like an oldie fruity shampoo could smell like this. It is not. It just doesn't qualify as a fragrance. It's just too cheap smelling. So Eve by Jil Sander, I'm thankful to the subscriber for the decant, but that's not something to go and buy, in my opinion. And something that I love is Nun by Laboratorio Olfattivo. And I do have 30 ml bottle. I actually decanted it into this 5 ml travel spray, and this is how I make use of it. Love it. I'll keep running through them. So Nun is, to me, freesia, pear. It's the fruitiest of florals. It's very, and yet it's not zesty and it's not too sweet. It's not a fruit salad. It's souffle with pears and freesias. It's charming. It's like pink fluff in my imagination. Delightful, very almost kawaii style in my mind in terms of olfactory blending. Laboratorio Olfattivo Nun. If you love kawaii, if you like pink fluff, and you want it to be elevated souffle-like thing, so good. 5 disappointing gourmands. I'm sad we're here, but my opinions are final, and you will never hear about these 5 ever again on my channel. Because I tried. I put my skin in the game, and that was not what I was looking for. Let's start from the one that was the least disappointing. Zoologist Hummingbird. First of all, I find the samples of this size are useless. So I'm willing to give Hummingbird another go in the future, an alternative life in the future universe, because this just doesn't work, guys. Like, if you're ever in the market for buying samples, you need at least 3 ml. Less than 1 ml is only enough to tell you if you hate it. Like, oh, I definitely hate it. And still, you might change your mind once you wear it more. You need at least 3 ml. Actually, the most reliable size of a decant to buy is 5 ml. I'll die on that hill. Anything less than 5 is kind of a waste of money and waste of your time. You will not be able to form an informed opinion. You will not really learn enough about yourself, your perception, and the fragrance itself. 5 ml is where it's at. So I'm going to give this one a discount. Zoologist Hummingbird is a floral honey. It's cute. And when I go online and look at their price, it's not so cute. So if you're looking for honey, the same brand has the honey of this universe. Like, the best honey fragrance on this planet is called Bee by Zoologist. So what were they trying to say with Hummingbird? I'm not sure. It's sweet honey, like pollen, and some floral aspects. Okay? You know what I mean? Okay. Next, Black Opium Illicit Green. They had red, they had glitter. At this point, Black Opium by Yves Saint Laurent line includes dozens of flankers. I got Illicit Green because I keep hoping that at least one of them has more character than Synthetic Caramel. And it doesn't. How do you tell them apart? To me, this is similar to La Vie Belle flankers. They are so similar. Here, this synthetic carameloid molecule, there, ethyl maltol, which is kind of a liquid sugar, it dominates the whole composition. Whether you add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, doesn't really make that much of a difference. So I'm finally feeling like I'm done trying to make this line work by Yves Saint Laurent, and I vow to never review a Black Opium again. Commodity Velvet went bad on me even before I had the chance to use it up. And that just brings me to the point. And the velvet here, it smells kind of like this dried fruits, but without the sourness. Almost this kind of velvet, right? Suede-y, fruity gourmand. Commodity as a brand has been not very creative. They're continuously trying to revive the brand and to re-release the same fragrances with differently colored name tags. This is how it kind of lands, and none of it lands favorably to them. Even though milk, velvet, all these concepts, it's all cute and all, and they're all wearable, but there's something missing. Maybe you can help me explain this. What's missing with the commodities styling of their products? It's not just the olfactory design. I almost feel that a lot of their designs are decent enough, but they're not long lasting. They're not diverse in the way that they live through time. So I would expect more dynamism and more richness from them, or at least sharper concepts, because this is pantry level marketing, conceptual design. Milk, velvet, boke, whiskey, which doesn't smell like whiskey, by the way. Okay. So with this fragrance going bad, even before I had chance to finish it up, I probably used up 6 ml of velvet before it got spoiled. I'm putting a pin in reviewing commodity. Sorry, not sorry. Mugler Angel Muse Eau de Toilette. And I also have Angel somewhere, and Angel Eau de Parfum and Angel Eau de Toilette. And here I just finished Mugler Angel Muse. I am trying to understand what's the deal with Angel. It was such a big deal. It broke the market back in the 90s, and it introduced the era of edible gourmands. Yet to me, this is so boring, and it's synthetically smelling to me. Maybe I'm traumatized by the memories of the 90s when I was a child. I don't know. It just doesn't smell like a perfume. It smells like a sketch, like a molecular sketch of a scent. It's sweet, flat, and the Angel Muse has either papaya or some kind of tropical fruit in it. And it's so synthetic, and it's so not believable. I don't get Angel. I'm more of a alien person, even though still challenging for me to wear, because these are beast mode perfumes. They you can go clubbing in them. Yeah, you can still smell them after having 8 beers, which to me is not a compliment. But for a lot of people, it's a necessity. So the army of lovers of Angel don't need to listen to me. You love Angel, you wear it. I tried. No. Ethyl maltol as a primary ingredient in perfumery doesn't work for me. This is why I don't have a single La Vie Belle. This is why I'm not gonna get a full-size bottle of any of the Angels. Kilian, Love Don't Be Shy Extreme. As if Kilian fragrances need to be any more loud. Whew. Condensed milk that you're being waterboarded with. This is sweet to the point of smothering. And usually I enjoy Kilian gourmands for their more refined balance of edible versus appetizing. I'm afraid I'll get diabetes just by inhaling this fragrance. It's very, very, very sweet. I tried. I cannot survive it. What's similar to it? I'll tell you. The new release by Room 1015, Jasmine Freak. Actually quite similar in their profile, but Jasmine Freak is cheaper. And it has the most delightful mango jam opening that this one doesn't have. This is super linear perfume. It just blasts full volume for you, on just attacking you full force for 6 hours or 12 hours, and that's it. Jasmine Freak has a dynamism. If you are in the market for something like a Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian, but you want a twist, a more interesting, delightful twist, try Jasmine Freak by Room 1015. Niche brand, cool concepts, a more affordable price, a very interesting dynamism of how that one lives on the skin. Another one that's similar is if you like Sintra by Memo. These are these like unbearably sweet caramel, not necessarily caramel, condensed milk plus white florals. It's an attack on my senses. Never again. Jazz Club by Replica Exchange Maison Margiela. This is the most beautiful and wearable by a woman smell of shaving cream I've ever experienced. I do want Jazz Club. But similarly with Lipstick On by the same brand, Maison Margiela, Replica Exchange, it's my guilty pleasure. I feel like I shouldn't like it as much as I do, but I do. It's such a simple concept. Take a shaving cream, like a classical Old Spice type of a thing, and add some sweet Canadian maple syrup plus whiskey situation going on, and you'll get Jazz Club. But it's so beautiful. I love it. It's so comforting. I love it. I used up 5 ml and I want more. I haven't bought a full size bottle yet. I'm trying to be good. I need to finish more bottles, so I will get Jazz Club if I finish another bottle of clear gourmand. Once I'm done with something that's clearly gourmand and I can replace it, I might. I really might. It's very unisex. It's not too sweet. Genius in how simple, tasteful all these notes are combined together. Compliments to the chef. A very surprising juice in the fragrance that's called Ylang 49 by LeLabo. I'm trying to figure out before LeLabo completely goes away or, cashes out, should I get something? I do have their Labdanum. Love it. It's the smell of Orthodox Church. Ylang, I thought, would be a delightful fruity floral, but it's actually a classical shipper. High quality, long lasting, juicy, this like sour green patchouli. Beautiful stuff. Ylang, if you're looking for quite quality classic shipper. But I already have more than 10 shippers in my collection, and my favorite everyday shipper is Cartier Panther in the concentration Parfum, because they also have 1,000 flankers. It's the classical reference. It's a beautiful homage to what shipper is supposed to be about. The juxtaposition, the contrast of sour green, earthy patchouli moss accords and sweet, delightful, gourmandy type of a heart note, in this case peach. Beautiful stuff. So Ylang, way more expensive and not as beautiful. I'm willing to let it go, but I enjoyed wearing it. An interesting amber, a bestseller for a while by Armani Privé, their boutique line by Armani, Amber Eccentrico. I managed to amass like a dozen of Amber Eccentrico in the sample form. It's beautiful amber, but it's not the top amber in my view. It's very reminiscent to me to Grand Soir by Francis Cruikshank. I hope I'm remembering the name of it correctly. Grand Soir, which I also had 2 samples, and like it's fine, it's great, it's good quality amber. Not my favorite yet, because my favorite amber is L'Ambre d'Extrême by L'Artisan Parfumeur, which gets better with time. This is the best, the most well-rounded, delightful amber fragrance I've ever smelled. There are 1,000 delicate differences in the amber scents that people enjoy. You just gotta find your subtone to amber profile, because it's fairly easy. Amber is a man-made accord. There's no ingredient called amber that has a smell. And ambergris is a completely different story. It's an excretion of whales. It doesn't smell like amber. Not a thing. Does not describe what we call amber accord in perfumery. All right. Amber accord classically was first composed from vanilla plus labdanum. So it gives you this sweet resinous, darker, people say honey-like, but it doesn't smell like honey. Darker, smooth, sweet tone. And that's what amber is. It's such a cult favorite. It's a genre that almost every person has at least a bottle of amber-centric scent. So the minutia of differences there is where the individuality really lies. I'm not a big fan of spicy or bitter ambers. I'm not a big fan of Middle Eastern ambers, for example. This is the paragon of what amber fragrance should be like. It's perfectly polished. Amber Eccentrica is beautiful, amazing, enjoyed it. I'm not gonna replace this one. It doesn't win. This is an accomplishment. This is 8 ml decan that I made for myself of Salvatore Ferragamo boutique. There's a boutique line fragrance that's called La Comedia. This, I had one bottle. I'm trying to finish it up. Came from that, and I already got myself a replacement. It is one of the most underrated boutique lines, in my view, on the market. And actually, I would blame the brand for it. They didn't really do any meaningful storytelling or collaborations. There was no real narrative that anybody noticed in the perfume community. You could find them in various duty-free airports, but I don't think that's enough to sell people on a whole line of fairly expensive fragrances. However, some of them I find truly genius. La Comedia is definitely one of them. There is nothing like that on the market, all right? Nothing. And what this is a combination of all spicy, peppery aspects, scents, odors that you can imagine. It's soft and edible Bulgarian pepper. It's spicy sweet, spicy bitter, spicy hot. All peppers put together in this incredibly long-lasting, hugely diffusive scent that you will never mix with anything else. It has a lot of character. It also has so much diffusion and so much longevity that I personally struggled with it. One spray of it anywhere, you will not wear another perfume on that piece of clothing or that day, or maybe for 2 days straight. And also how much it fills the room. This is definitely something, if you can't feel your perfume very quickly, if you're Ganymede or Baccarat Rouge type of a person, Creed Aventus, but you also love hot food and you love peppers and you enjoy that conceptually, La Comedia by Salvatore Ferragamo. I'll leave a link below. Get yourself 5 ml. Trust me, that will last you a year. It will just open this genre of perfumery and close it. This is a chapter. In my view, this is a chapter in perfume making that more people should know about. And to finish us off, I'll talk about 3 leathers. One that I'm desperately wanting to my collection, but I just can't find it for any merciful price. And this is Arquiste. God damn it, Arquiste. They make so many fragrances that I want, and I love their bottle design. Indigo Smoke, completely used up, enjoyed every whiff of it. It's black tea, tobacco, maybe a little bit of a leather, but more like black tea, smoky tea scent. And it's not bitter, and it's not austere. That's the thing, it was charming. For the profile that brutal, we usually, when we start imagining that stuff, it's like, okay, it's probably marketed toward men, blah, blah, blah. No, it's delightful. They managed to make it more hearty, so it doesn't fall to low frequencies that a lot of tobacco perfumes tend to go to. it's elevated. It's like drinking London fog, you know, the Earl Grey with milk latte style drink. That's what it is to tea. It's really cool. Indigo smoke, loved it. And it wasn't bitter, it wasn't mineral, because a lot of indigo fragrances, when perfumers or brands reference indigo as a color or as a concept, for some reason they immediately go for this depressive, sour mineral vetiver. And I just, like, come on. This is beautiful. Indigo smoke is on my wish list. I'm sure I'll succeed eventually. Tom Ford Ombre Leather. I have Eau de Parfum. This is 3rd or 5th sample. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. To me, it smells cheap. It's all right as an entrance leather scent. It's okay. It's a good introduction. It's a good reference. If you have nowhere to try, you go to any department store, you spritz Tom Ford Ombre Leather, you get an idea. But there's something in its base. With time, it just gets flatter and flatter. It just gets more boring and more boring. Not a leather scent I would recommend. And a surprise for me was Leather by Zara. And apparently a lot of people enjoyed green leather, patent leather, isobutylquinoline type of leather. And some people even compared with Memo, which if we look at this with sober eye, yeah. If you propose it to me as, oh, Zara has something for $20 that Memo sells for $300, $200, okay. I get it. But also we have Cacharel by Grey that has history, legacy, that actually was the OG isobutylquinoline green patent leather scent. That's still on the market. Beautifully packaged. And it costs just the same as Zara. So, no. I have Cacharel Eau de Parfum by Grey. I'm good. And now to our magical accounting. Since the overconsumption is too easy to start, but really hard to quantify and be accountable for, this is my way to be accountable in front of you and kind of potentially giving you, maybe scaring you, or maybe giving you inspiration to try something like that yourself. Today is a pretty special day because I finished quite a few full-size bottles. So I ended up using up in this report 280 ml of fragrance. I think at this point you can count me as part of the Middle Eastern fraghead community, because only they can boast numbers that high. I've done well. I only counted the volume of fragrances that I used on myself as a personal fragrance. I didn't count it if I used any of it for, deodorizing the room or any other purposes. So 280 ml. That's all on me. 280 beautiful drops. Finish to the very last. All opinions are final. I hope you enjoyed this scent insights. And I think so far I'm still not winning in terms of beauty versus addiction, but I sure as well enjoying the journey. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because that will make sure that we'll see each other in the next one.